Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining our webcast today. The topic for today is going to be covering two main features available in our latest release, that is MicroStrategy 10. We're going to be talking about some of the new data sources available for you, and also we're going to be talking about data preparation, more specific about the new data handling capability. All of this is new and it has been enhanced, so we're very excited to show you all these new things to you now. Just a quick introduction. My name is Jessica Mugia. I'm a product manager for analytics at MicroStrategy. I have been in the company for almost 5 years, where my main focus is in the areas of data discovery and software as a service applications. And I'm very glad on how the product has been evolving and to show that to you now. So the first thing that I'm going to show to you is the agenda for this webcast. So we're going to be talking, I'm going to give you a brief introduction of how the process of self-service works in MicroStrategy. And then we're going to be talking about the two main features that I already mentioned to you, the new data sources available for you, and also the data grounding within the data preparation function. And the idea is also to give you a quick demo showing you how these features and capabilities work within the product. So we're going to be showing you a couple of demos that I have prepared for you, so you can see these new data sources and also the data grounding functionality in MicroStrategy. And at the very end of this webcast, I want to give you some next steps or takeaways, so you can start implementing self-service. So the big concept of self-service and what really makes self-service fast and quick is that we have eliminated the whole data modeling process. With self-service, what you can do is connect to your data, whether it's a spreadsheet, a CSV file, whether it's a database like SQL Server or Oracle, or even Hadoop. You can connect to them very easily and quickly without writing any code. That's why it really makes this product really fast. So basically, you can go from connect to discover and share in 3 easy steps with MicroStrategy. For data access, there is no data source that MicroStrategy does not access. Whether it's a database or spreadsheet, you will be able to connect to that and then combine those sources by connecting to multiple data sources. And once we are connected to this, we're going to bring in this as an in-memory cube. And for those of you who are not familiar with this term, this is our high-performance engine, where we basically take a snapshot of your data and we hold it in memory. So basically, you are going to be able to connect to it without any long response time. All of these together give us a quick, fast, and easy process, as you can see. Also, with MicroStrategy 10, we are adding the new Connect Live Data option, or direct data access, which gives you the possibility to go from an in-memory analysis to a real-time analysis. So if you want to do analysis on data that is rapidly changing and bypass the need of an in-memory analysis, direct data access could be really useful, render only the required slice of data that you are looking for. This option is supported in relational database, in-memory cubes, Hadoop, search index, etc. And as you can see, data import has been enhanced by adding a lot more data sources support and improving the way users gonna connect to that data. And here you can see a screenshot of actually the new data import menu. So you can see how it has been enriched by adding so many new options. And we're going to look into some of these closer as we go through the presentation. The first one that I wanted to show you is the ability to import from Excel files, CSV, or text files. This option is not new. It has been enhanced. But as you can see now, we have a menu that allows you to drag and drop the files that you want to use. And also, if you are using an Excel file and that file contains several sheets of data, you can import several sheets at the same time and just create one single data set. And the other reason that I'm including and showing these kind of files is because with these kind of files, it's very easy for me to show you. For those of you who are not familiar with the data import and the data discovery process in MicroStrategy, it's very easy for me to show you this and show you the complete sequence with this kind of files. So basically, right now I'm gonna give you a demo so you can see how you can easily import these kind of files or connect to different sources and then start preparing your data. For this demo, I'm gonna go and try to cover a lot more than just showing how you can use these files. The idea is to show you the complete data, the complete self-service part that we have in MicroStrategy desktop, so you can see how this product works from Connect, prepare your data, and start creating visualizations. So with that, I'm gonna jump into the demo. Okay, so now the first thing that you are gonna see is gonna be the MicroStrategy desktop interface, and this is where you can have the dataset panel, the editor panel, and also you are gonna have the visualization panel where actually you are gonna start creating all the visualizations that you want to create with your data, and also you have access to the new visualization gallery. As you can see, this is it's completely new. This interface has been enhanced, and everything is it's based on HTML files, so it's gonna be quick and it's gonna be fast. And the first thing that we're gonna do in this demo is I want to show you how you can open the data import interface. So you just have to click on this button, Add Data, and then select that you want to import data from external data. So now you have the data import interface as I just showed you in the presentation. And here's where you can choose what source you want to use. In this case, we're gonna be selecting the file from disk. And this is where you can just drag and drop the files that you want to import. Or you can click on this blue button and select the file that you want to import. For this example, we're going to import an Excel file, and we're going to click on Prepare Data. As I already mentioned to you during the slide, is that the ability to import, if you're using an Excel file, you will be able to choose if you just want to import one sheet or import multiple sheets at one time. So for the purpose of this demo, I want to select 3 different sheets that I have available in this file to show you how it's going to look in the data preview interface. So I already showed you how you can connect to an Excel file, but also in this demo I want to show you, once you are connected, how the next interface that you are going to see, which is the preview interface. And here's where you can start editing your data. This is where you are going to see all your data and tables as an attributes and metrics. As you can see, I have here available 3 different tables, which basically are the 3 different sheets that I choose to import from the Excel file. So here's where I can start changing attributes to metrics or vice versa. I can access to a menu where it gives me the possibility to change the data type or even to convert to attribute. Give me the options to not import that metric or attribute, or even rename those the metrics or attributes. So now, as you can see, I have so many new options, but not only that, here I importing tabular Excel files, But I also will have the possibility to import cross-tab format files. The only thing that I need to do is open the menu that I have available in the different tables, and I'm going to see the parse option. That will give me the possibility to edit files that has more cross-tab format instead of a tabular format. Also here I can access the ground link option, but also the ground link option feature is going to be available here in the new place that I'm showing you right now. The other thing that you can do in Preview Data Interface is the ability to link dashboards and create relationships across different attributes. Also, it's going to detect if it's going to see if your data it has geography information or date information, and that will give you the ability to create attributes on the fly. But we're going to cover this later on this session as we're talking about the data preparation part. So with that, I'm going to finish this new first demo. So basically, that was the first option or the first source that I wanted to show you. And now we're going to be talking about web scraping. Web scraping is a new capability in data import in MicroStrategy 10, and pretty much allows you to search data from web pages, and also gives you the possibility to search for a specific tag on content and bring that data back into tabular format. So you can either put the link of the page or search for tags and then choose from there which table you want to import. For the public data connectors, it's another option that we have available here in MicroStrategy 10, and allows you to search on data by simply typing your search string. So for example, if we type GDP, it will automatically point your suggestions like GDP or GDP for US or GDP per capita, etc. The same can be done for URL matches. So based on the string search, MicroStrategy will search all potential wiki URLs and give you a list to choose from. The plan is to extend that to other external sources like data.gov. So right now it's only available for wiki, but we are planning to expand this. And once you have the list of URLs, you have the options to hover over those URLs and preview some of the data before choosing which data you want to import. And once you choose the data is going to be scrapped into a tabular format and move into a data set. But I want to show you a demo of this as well so you can have a better idea of what I'm talking about here. Again, we are in the MicroStrategy desktop interface, and we're going to open the import data interface. In this case, we're going to click on import public data. And for example, I want to show you if I type megacity, I'm going to see all the potential wiki URLs that I have available here. I have a list to choose from. So as soon as I start hovering over these options, I'm going to see the preview of the data that is available in each of these sites. You can see all these previews are different because the data is coming different from the different sources. So for example, if I want to see how this website looks actually in a browser, I'm going to see this wiki page. And I want to show you this wiki page, how it looks in the browser, to show you all the tables that I have available here in this site. And the reason that I wanted to show you this is because if I select this wiki page and I click on Prepare Data, what I'm going to look here in the Preview Data interface is the first table that I have available in that website. And remember that in this preview interface is where you can still edit in your data. You can change the name of your attributes or your metrics, and you can access the ground link option that we're going to be covering later in this webcast. So you will have a lot of flexibility, and you can edit a lot of your data. But what I also want to show you here is that instead of choosing the public data, and I select file from URL, and I paste exactly the same URL that we were working on the other source, what I'm gonna see if I click on prepare data is all the tables that I have available on that website. So instead of bringing in the first table that I have available on that website, I'm going to be able to choose what table I want to import. So for example, in this case, I don't want to import the first one, I want to import the third one. So if I click on select, what I'm going to see in the preview data interface is exactly these different tables that I have available there. And again, here is where I can start editing my data that I just imported. So this is a second demo that I wanted to show you, and now we're going to be coming back to the slides. We now support data import from cloud sources such as Google Drive and Dropbox. The functionality is very easy now and seamless to the end user. You just have to log into your account from data import and just easily browse the files you need. With this data set, you can refresh your data on a scheduled basis, actually. The other one that I want to show you is Clipboard. Clipboard is another easy way to get data from anywhere by simply copying and pasting the data into a tabular format into the clipboard that you see in this screenshot. You can edit that directly with which gives you, you can edit this directly in this interface, which gives you a lot much more flexibility than go to the data grounding and do that if needed. But also support data grounding. You will have the data grounding supporting for data coming from Clipboard, and you have also the refresh capabilities here. The other one that I wanted to show you is database. Database import has also been enhanced in MicroStrategy 10, and now we support multiple table import into a single dataset. So previously we had to create a separate dataset for each table, and now we can combine all these tables into one dataset. Also, you can see here from a single menu that you can choose whether you can build a query, type of query, or pick tables, all in the same place. And what I wanted to show you here is, as you can see, this is a screenshot of the query interface, the interface where you can actually connect to the different databases. And at your left, you can see the databases listed here, and one could be SQL Server, one could be Hadoop, one could be Oracle, and there is no really difference between them. And once you are connected to them, you can list all the tables in that section at the middle. So basically, you can select a different database, and in the middle, you are going to see all the tables that are available within that database. And at the very end, you can just drag and drop whatever table you want to import. And as you can see, at no point I'm writing SQL Server, so that is the SQL code. And that's what we mean by business user friendly. And once you import your data, you are gonna see in the preview of your data window, you can continue editing and preparing that as we have seen in many other videos. So basically, with the databases, you are connectivity. You have the ability to allow your business users to connect to your certified database environment and filter on their own without writing any script or anything. Everything is menu-based and everything is self-service. are now also able to import data from other BI tools. These tools include Oracle, SAP Business Objects, and IBM Cognos. And basically, the report can be published as a web service, and it can be imported by MicroStrategy. You can see in a basic two-step process, create your connection from data import to the source that you need, and just paste the report URL that you want to import. From the social data perspective, we enable Facebook and Twitter data import. For Twitter, we are using the native search API. Users can build dashboards with sample data from Twitter that is in the quick and dirty market segmentation. And once the dashboards are created, you can use the replacement dataset feature to point to same sample dashboard to a larger volume of data. And here I also wanted to show you a demo of how this is going to be working in the product. So again, I have this the connect to your data interface, but in this case we are going to select Twitter. So I can show you how you can log in into your account. And as you can see, at no point everything is within this interface. I'm not leaving this interface, so I just have to authorize this app to log into my account. And now I can type whatever I want to search on Twitter. For example, if I click Clinton and click on search, I'm gonna have all these list of different data that I can bring in and create different sample dashboards with data coming from Twitter. So you can see I have too many options, and if I click on the preview data, I'm gonna see all this data, how it looks as an attributes and metrics. And again, here's where I can change if there is something that I don't want to create it, I don't want to see as a metrics or attributes, I can do that or change this very easily. So this is the other demo that I wanted to show you. And with that, I'm covering some of the new data sources that we have available in MicroStrategy 10. There are so many new options, and everything we're going to be trying to give you new sessions, new webcasts to introduce you to these new sources. But this was just a quick introduction of what is coming, of what you will be able to do with 10. And now we're going to be talking about the other new feature that we have available about data grounding that is within the data preparation process. So once we get the data inside, we have the ability with 941 and above to build attributes on the fly. And what I mean by this is that imagine that you have time information within your data, like date. You can create new attributes like quarters, like day of month, day of week, and generate these new columns of information that do not exist in your database. You can do the same with geography. For example, if you have zip code, you can generate country, city, state, and anything above in that hierarchy, you can auto-generate on your own as well. MicroStrategy has this library inbuilt within its systems, so you can just need to auto-generate this on the fly within the product to enhance and reach your data. You can also add additional tables from different sources, create links and relationships across attributes, change data types, etc., as I already showed you in the first demo where we import an Excel file. And I try to give you the whole sequence of how the self-service works in MicroStrategy. So the idea with this interface is to eliminate the whole data modeling process stage, that it really takes days, weeks, or even more, or even months. So once you are in the data once you import your data, you are going to be in this preview data window, and you can continue and editing, preparing your data with the new data grounding feature. And This is a very big enhancement in 10 and a very important feature. For those of you who are familiar with this process, or you or your data scientist can spend almost 80% of your time just cleaning your data for analysis. So you can have an idea of how important this feature is to be able to interact with within this interface. This feature provides three different things: predictive interactions while preparing the data, access to a wide variety of functions, and also the ability to save the script for reuse. Um, and here I want to show you first, before we jump into the demo, a screenshot of the data wrangling interface. And at the very top, you can see the auto functions that change not only based on the column selected, but also on text. These functions are predictive, and they will change every time the user or you highlight something different. And when you hover over a function, you will get a quick preview of how the data will look like if you were, how the data will look like if you were to use that function. And this is very helpful for you to decide if this is the right function that you want to use, or this is what you are trying to accomplish, or if you're looking for something different. Right in the middle section is our data preview, and at the top right section is the history script. This script keeps track of all the interactions that you have been made in the data and allows you to go back in your steps and make changes. And here I'm showing you a breakdown of all the functions and capabilities that you will have with this feature. First of all, as I already mentioned to you, we have the predictive transformations that give you suggestions based on what you have selected. And talking about the transformations functions, you will be able to remove, split by, extract by, duplicate, and have access to a wide variety of functions as you go play with your data. The history script allows you to interact with your data and also provide support to undo and redo. You can reuse this script if you want to update your data set, or if you want to use it for a completely new data set. You have the ability to export or import the script so you can reuse it later. So now we're going to jump into the demo to show you how this actually works in the product. So remember now, during the previous demos, I showed you how you can connect to the different sources. So now imagine that we are already connected to that, and now we are in the preview of your data interface. Here is where you can continue editing and preparing your data, and you can see there are some changes that I may want to do to my data. So if I click on the data wrangling function, I'm going to see this interface that I showed you in the screenshot previously. And now, for example, if I see that I have some empty rows that I want to fill, I can easily click on that column and select the fill down option. So now you can see that I have all values in all my rows. For example, if I have this column that I want to make some changes, for example, I want to split, or I want to look this data into a different way, if I just select this part, what I'm going to see at the very top is all the functions that MicroStrategy is suggesting me based on what I have selected. So as you can see, if I hover over the different functions, in the yellow section that I have in the middle, I'm going to see a preview of how that function is going to work. So for this case, for example, I'm going to say I want to split on. And what I have now is two different columns that I can easily rename by just double clicking in the header, or by just opening the menu that I have available here. So now I just create two different columns with two different names. And for example, if we take a look into this new column, I can see that I have New York. New York is spelled differently. So I can I can edit this by just clicking on the pencil and say that every time that I see New York like that, I wanted to change it to New York as this. And I'm going to select apply to all, and that is going to be applied to all the rows that I have New York in the ground form. Now, for example, if I select on this column and I want to see all the functions that I have available at the very top, instead of the suggestions that MicroStrategy could provide to me, I can select that column and then go at the very top and open the menu of the functions that I have available. So I can go and move and select different options and make it this more manual. If I apply that, it's gonna be really quick to apply that function. And if I with this function, I'll also have the ability to run text facet. And basically, this is gonna be a filter that will allow me to see the unique values that I have in that column. So, for example, for country column, I see that I have two different values, but one is UK and United States, but they are spelled differently. So I can easily create or merge this data by creating clusters. So I'm going to open this menu and select cluster and edit. That will allow me to merge my data in different ways based on how it's spelled or how it sounds. So for this time, I'm going to select phonetic, because I want to merge my data on how it sounds. So I'm going to click on merge, and as you can see in this new cell value option, I have the options to say how I want to merge these values, but I can select or type how do I want to merge those values. So by selecting merge and close, I'm going to see that now in country I just have two countries, and here I have the history script. As you can see, I have all the steps that I have made to my data, and by just clicking on that step, I can easily redo or undo what I just made. So basically, if I click, you can see that I go back to unmerge these, and if I double click again, I merge again these countries. So basically, this is very helpful if you want to undo or redo any step, and also if you want to save this history script and reuse it later for if you want a new data set or you are updating this data set. So I'm going to show you how you can save this by just clicking on this down arrow. You're going to see if you click on save, what you're going to do is that you're going to be saving text files of your history script. So let's see that I have a new version of this data set and I want to apply exactly what I just did with this data. I'm going to click on this arrow and browse the file that I just saved. So I'm going to select the file, I'm going to click apply, and it's going to apply all the functions and interactions that I made to the data previously. So as you can see, it's very easily to reuse this part. And with that, I wanted to show you how the data grounding function works. It was just a preview. We have, as you can see, we have so many new options and a lot of interactions, a lot of functions that you can access and play with your data. So that basically was the demo, and then I'm gonna go back to the slides. And now, just to quick recap, I'm going to finish this webcast just saying to encourage you to download MicroStrategy Desktop. It's a very easy way that you can take a look and take advantage of a lot of features and capabilities that are available in MicroStrategy. You can download and install it on Mac or PC. It's just a 5 or 4 minutes installation, and then you can open the file and start preparing this and creating visualizations with your data. Also, as a quick reminder that we have available for you the MicroStrategy community. and it's a great way for you to continue the conversation and ask questions, but in a greater audience. And also for you, it's an easier way for you to find different content that you are looking for. And also, I want to remind you that we have a new webcast coming on August 12th. For you, it's going to be talking about how you are deploying governed data discovery into centralized and decentralized teams. So it's going to be really, so you can have a very good idea of how the whole data discovery is working in MicroStrategy. So I really encourage you to assist to that webcast. And with that, I want to tell you that if you have any questions, please go ahead and put all the questions that you may have in the chat, and I'm going to try to reach out to you with as soon as I can and try to answer all the questions that you may have. So thanks for coming, thanks for hearing us, and see you the next time, and see you during the next webcast that we will have available for you. Thanks.